I fixed my in-laws' cars and mowed their lawn every weekend for 5 years. Never asked for a penny. One day, my father-in-law looked at me and said, "If you dropped dead tomorrow, we'd just pay someone better." My wife laughed. I just nodded. The next weekend, I stayed home. By Thursday, my wife was screaming after seeing a photo of me, having lunch with her boss. I, 34M, still remember the exact moment everything changed. Not when the words were said, but when my wife laughed. That sound cut deeper than any insult her father could throw at me. For 5 years, I spent my Saturdays at their place. Oil changes, brake pads, tire rotations, transmission fluid checks. Her father drove an old truck that needed constant attention, and her mother had a sedan that she refused to take to a mechanic because she didn't trust them. I fixed everything. I mowed their massive lawn every weekend, trimmed the hedges, cleaned the gutters twice a year. 2 acres of property that took me 4 hours to maintain properly. I never complained. Never asked for gas money or a meal or even a thank you. My wife always said it was what family did. Her parents raised her, fed her, put her through college. The least we could do was help them out now that they were older. I agreed. I actually believed that. I thought I was building something, proving myself, showing them I was worthy of their daughter. Last Saturday afternoon, I was under her father's truck, replacing the serpentine belt that had been squealing for weeks. My hands were covered in grease, my back aching from the concrete driveway. I heard him talking to someone on the phone, probably one of his buddies. He was standing maybe 10 feet away, not even trying to keep his voice down. He told whoever was on the other end that I was under the truck fixing something again. Then he laughed and said if I dropped dead tomorrow, they would just pay someone better to do it. Said it would probably get done faster too. Said at least a real mechanic wouldn't leave grease stains on the driveway. I went completely still under that truck. Waited to hear what else he might say. But he just moved on to talking about a fishing trip. Like what he said was nothing. Like I was nothing. I slid out from under the truck and wiped my hands on a rag. My wife was sitting on the porch with her mother, drinking iced tea. I walked over and told them I was finished with the belt. Her father came around the corner and made some comment about how it took me long enough. I did not react. Just started packing up my tools. That is when he repeated it. Looked right at me and said that if I dropped dead tomorrow, they would just hire someone better. Said it with this smirk, like he was testing me. Like he wanted to see if I would finally push back after 5 years of swallowing every dismissive comment, every backhanded insult disguised as a joke. I looked at my wife. Waited for her to say something. Anything. She laughed. Not a nervous laugh or an uncomfortable one. A real laugh, like it was genuinely funny. Her mother smiled into her tea glass. I nodded. Did not say a word. Just finished packing my tools, loaded them into my truck, and drove home. My wife rode back with me, talking about dinner plans like nothing had happened. I asked her if she thought what her father said was funny. She told me I was being too sensitive, that it was just his sense of humor, that I needed to lighten up. She said her parents appreciated everything I did, even if they did not show it the way I wanted them to. I did not argue. I just drove. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. 5 years. 60 months. Over 200 Saturdays. Thousands of hours. And the only thing I had to show for it was the knowledge that they saw me as free labor. Replaceable. Worthless. The next Saturday morning, my wife got up early and started getting ready. She asked me what time I wanted to head over to her parents' place. I told her I was not going. She stopped mid-motion, hairbrush in hand, and stared at me like I had just spoken a foreign language. She asked what I meant. I said exactly what I said. I was not going over there anymore. She laughed again, that same laugh from the porch, and told me I was still being ridiculous about what her father said. I told her I was not being ridiculous. I was done. She did not take me seriously. She finished getting ready and told me she would just tell them I was not feeling well. Then she left. I spent that Saturday doing exactly what I wanted. I went to the gym. I grabbed lunch at a place I had been meaning to try for months. I sat in a coffee shop and read a book. It felt strange at first, like I was supposed to be somewhere else, doing something else. But by the afternoon, I felt lighter than I had in years. My wife came home that evening furious. Her father's truck was making that squealing noise again, and he was angry that I had not shown up to fix it. Her mother's lawn looked terrible because no one had mowed it. She demanded to know what my problem was, why I was being so petty. I told her there was no problem. Her father was right. If I dropped dead tomorrow, they could just pay someone better. So they should go ahead and do that now. Pay someone. I was out. She did not like that answer. She spent the next hour trying to guilt me, telling me how much her parents had done for us, how ungrateful I was being, how embarrassing it was that I was acting like a child. I let her talk. When she was finished, I told her that her parents had done a lot for her, not us. And if she wanted to keep helping them, she was welcome to. But I was done being their unpaid handyman. Sunday was tense. Monday was worse. By Tuesday, she had stopped speaking to me entirely. Fine by me. Wednesday afternoon, I got a text from an old friend. She worked in the same company as my wife, different department, but same building. We had known each other for years, back before I even met my wife. We grabbed coffee occasionally, maybe once every few months, just to catch up. She texted me asking if I was free for lunch on Thursday. She said she wanted to talk about something work-related, something she thought I might have insight on since I used to work in a similar field before switching careers. I said sure. Thursday came, and I met her at a restaurant downtown. Nice place, but not fancy. We ordered, talked about her project, about some industry changes, about life in general. It was a normal lunch between two friends. Lasted maybe an hour. I did not think anything of it. I went back to work, finished my day, came home. My wife was not there yet. I changed clothes and started making dinner. Then my phone exploded. My wife came through the door like a hurricane. She was screaming before she even got her shoes off. She shoved her phone in my face, and there it was. A photo of me and my friend at lunch. Someone from her office had seen us, snapped a picture, and sent it to my wife with some caption about how sorry they were that she had to find out this way. My wife demanded to know who the woman was, what I was doing, how long this had been going on. I told her calmly that it was my friend, that we had lunch, that nothing was going on. She did not believe me. She called me a liar, a cheat, said I was throwing away our marriage over her parents. I let her finish. Then I asked her if she heard herself. I told her that 1 week ago, her father insulted me to my face, and she laughed. Now she was accusing me of cheating because I had lunch with a friend. I asked her when exactly in the last 5 years she had defended me, stood up for me, treated me like I mattered. She did not have an answer. She just kept yelling, saying I was deflecting, that this was not about her parents, that I was trying to make her look like the bad guy. I told her I was not trying to make her look like anything. I was just done pretending that I was valued in this marriage. Done pretending that her family's disrespect was something I had to tolerate because they were family. Done being the joke. She went quiet then, stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. Then she asked if I was seriously going to throw away 6 years of marriage because of one comment. I told her it was not one comment. It was 5 years of comments. 5 years of being treated like I was lucky to be part of their family, like I should be grateful they even tolerated me. And it was not just her parents. It was her. Every time she laughed at their jokes, every time she told me I was too sensitive, every time she chose their comfort over my dignity. She left the room, slammed the bedroom door. I finished making dinner and ate alone. Update 1. It has been 2 weeks since that Thursday. Things have gotten worse before they have gotten better, but I am holding my ground. After that first night, my wife tried a different approach. She stopped yelling and started crying. She told me she did not realize how much her parents' comments had hurt me, that she thought I knew they were joking, that she never meant to make me feel worthless. She apologized for laughing, said it was just a reflex, that she did not actually think it was funny. I wanted to believe her. Part of me really did. But then she asked when I was going to go back to helping her parents. That told me everything. The apology was not about understanding what she did wrong. It was about getting things back to normal, getting me back under that truck, back behind that lawn mower, back in my place. I told her I was not going back. Not now, not ever. If her parents needed help, they could hire someone. She got angry again, said I was punishing her for her father's words, that I was being vindictive. I asked her if she had told her parents what happened, if she had explained to them why I was not coming around anymore. She admitted she had not. She said it would just make things awkward, that her father did not mean anything by what he said, that bringing it up would only cause drama. So I was supposed to let it go, but she was allowed to hold on to it and keep throwing it in my face. That logic. Her parents started calling me. Her father left a voicemail asking when I was going to come fix his truck, said the noise was getting worse. Did not apologize. Did not acknowledge what he said. Just expected me to show up like always. I did not call back. Her mother tried next. She was sweeter about it, said they missed seeing me, asked if I was upset about something. I told her that her husband had made it clear I was replaceable and that they should replace me. She got quiet, then said I was overreacting, that he said things like that to everyone, that it was just how he was. I told her that how he was did not work for me anymore. She hung up. My wife doubled down. She told me I was destroying her relationship with her parents, that they were asking her why I was being so difficult, that she did not know what to tell them. I suggested she tell them the truth. She refused. By the end of the first week, her father hired someone to mow the lawn. Cost him $150. He called my wife to complain about the price, said the guy did not even trim the edges properly. My wife relayed this to me like it was supposed to make me feel guilty. I asked her how much she thought my time was worth. She did not answer. Then came the part one did not expect. My friend, the one I had lunch with, reached out. She had heard through the office grapevine what happened, how my wife had accused me of cheating, how people were talking. She felt terrible. She offered to talk to my wife, to explain that there was nothing between us, that it was just lunch. I told her not to bother. If my wife wanted to believe I was cheating, no amount of explaining would change her mind. And honestly, at that point, I did not care what my wife believed. The accusation itself was proof that she did not trust me, did not respect me. But my friend did it anyway. She sent my wife a message, explained the lunch, apologized for any confusion. My wife read it, and then asked me why I had not told her that my friend had reached out to clarify. I told her I did not think I needed to. If she trusted me, the photo should not have been an issue in the first place. That started another fight. She accused me of playing games, of withholding information, of trying to make her look paranoid. I told her she was doing that all on her own. We have barely spoken since. She sleeps in the guest room. I sleep in our bed. We move around the house like ghosts, avoiding each other. She goes to her parents' place on weekends now, stays most of the day. I do not ask what she does there. I do not care. Last Saturday, I went out with some friends I had not seen in months. We grabbed drinks, watched a game, talked about nothing important. It felt good. Normal. Like I was reclaiming parts of myself I had forgotten existed. One of my friends asked how married life was treating me. I told him it was complicated. He laughed and said it always was. But then he looked at me and said I seemed different. Lighter. I told him I felt different. When I got home that night, my wife was waiting up. She asked where I had been. I told her. She asked why I had not told her I was going out. I told her I did not realize I needed permission. She cried again, said she felt like she was losing me, that I was slipping away, that she did not know how to fix this. I told her she could start by respecting me, by standing up for me, by treating me like a partner instead of a tool. She asked what she was supposed to do about her parents. I told her that was her problem, not mine. I was done managing her relationship with them. If she wanted them in her life, fine. But I was not going to be collateral damage anymore. She asked if I still loved her. I did not answer right away. And I think that silence said more than any words could have. Update 2. It has been a month now. Things have not improved, but they have clarified. And honestly, clarity is what I needed. 2 weeks ago, my wife finally told her parents the truth. Or at least a version of it. She told them I was upset about what her father said, that I felt disrespected, that I was not coming back to help anymore. She did not mention her laughing. Did not mention the years of accumulated disrespect. Just made it about that one comment. Her father's response was predictable. He told her I was being dramatic, that men these days could not take a joke, that maybe I was not the man he thought I was when we got married. He said if I was going to be that sensitive, then good riddance. Her mother tried to smooth things over. She called me again, said she understood I was hurt, that maybe they could have been more appreciative, that they hoped we could move past this. I told her I appreciated the call, but moving past it would require an actual apology from her husband, not a proxy message from her. She said she would talk to him. I have not heard back. My wife was furious after that conversation with her parents. Not at them. At me. She said I was being unreasonable, that I was demanding an apology I would never get, that I was forcing her to choose between me and her family. I told her I was not forcing her to do anything. She had already chosen. She chose them when she laughed. She chose them every time she dismissed my feelings. She chose them by expecting me to keep sacrificing without complaint while they treated me like garbage. She did not have a response to that. She just cried and said this was not how marriage was supposed to work. I agreed. Marriage was supposed to be a partnership. It was supposed to be two people protecting each other, defending each other, building a life together. Instead, I had spent 5 years being her parents' unpaid employee while she watched. That conversation ended with her asking if I wanted a divorce. I did not answer right away, Because the truth was, I had been thinking about it. Not out of anger or spite, but out of exhaustion. I was tired of fighting to be valued. Tired of explaining why I deserved basic respect. Tired of feeling like the villain for refusing to accept crumbs. I told her I did not know. I told her I needed time to think. She did not like that, but she did not push. A few days later, something unexpected happened. My friend, the one from the lunch photo, invited me to a work event. Some networking thing her company was hosting. She said my wife would probably be there since it was for all employees and their partners, and she wanted to give me a heads up. I almost said no, but then I thought about it. Why should I avoid going because of my wife's unfounded accusations? Why should I keep shrinking myself to make her comfortable when she had never done the same for me? So I went. Not as my friend's date, just as an attendee. My wife was there. I saw her across the room, talking to her boss and some other colleagues. She saw me too. Her face went pale, then red. I did not approach her. I just mingled, talked to people, acted like a normal human being at a normal event. My friend introduced me to a few people. We talked about work and industry trends, and it was fine. Pleasant, even. My wife left early. Stormed out, actually. I got a series of angry texts an hour later. She accused me of showing up to humiliate her, of flaunting my friendship with that woman in front of her coworkers, of making her look like a fool. I responded with one text. I told her she had humiliated herself by spreading rumors that I was cheating. I told her I went to a work event, spoke to professionals, and did nothing wrong. And I told her that if she felt like a fool, maybe she should examine why. She did not respond. The next morning, she packed a bag. Said she was going to stay with her parents for a while, that she needed space to think. I did not stop her. I helped her carry her suitcase to the car. As she was about to leave, she asked me if I was happy now, if this was what I wanted. I told her what I wanted was a wife who respected me. What I wanted was a partner who stood by me instead of undermining me. What I wanted was a marriage where I did not have to beg to be treated with basic dignity. She said I was never going to get an apology from her father, that he was too proud, too stubborn. She said if I was waiting for that, I would be waiting forever. I told her I had already accepted that. The apology was not even about him anymore. It was about her. It was about whether she could acknowledge that what happened was wrong, that I had been hurt, that I deserved better. She got in the car and drove away without another word. That was 5 days ago. We have texted a few times, just logistics about bills and the house. Nothing substantial. I do not know if she is coming back. I do not know if I want her to. What I do know is this. I am not the same person I was a month ago. I am not the guy who swallowed every insult, who worked himself to exhaustion for people who did not appreciate him, who stayed quiet to keep the peace. I fixed their cars. I mowed their lawn. I gave 5 years of my life trying to prove I was good enough. And the only thing I proved was that some people will take everything you offer and still see you as worthless. I am done proving myself. If my marriage ends, it ends. But I am not going back to being that person. Not for her. Not for anyone. Update 3. It has been 2 months. My wife and I are separated now, though we have not filed anything official yet. We are still deciding what we want, or at least that is what we tell people. The truth is, I think we both already know. She stayed at her parents' place for 3 weeks before getting her own apartment. Small place, 1 bedroom, across town. She said she needed space from all of it. From me, from her parents, from the whole situation. I think she finally started to feel the weight of what happened, but not in the way I hoped. About a week after she moved out, her father's truck broke down completely. Transmission went out. Repair shop quoted him $3,000. He called my wife, furious, and somehow that became my fault too. She texted me saying her father was convinced I had sabotaged the truck before I stopped helping, that I had known it was going to fail and left them high and dry on purpose. I did not even respond to that. The idea was so absurd it did not deserve acknowledgement. But she kept pushing. She said her parents were struggling, that the lawn care service was expensive, that they needed help around the house, and could not afford to keep paying people. She asked if I would consider coming back, just once in a while, just to help out. I told her no, not once in a while, not ever. I told her that ship had sailed, burned, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. She said I was being cruel. I said I was being sane. Her mother tried next. She sent me a long email, much more thoughtful than anything her husband would ever write. She said she understood I was hurt, that she wished things had been handled differently, that she hoped someday we could all move past this. She did not apologize for her husband, but she came close. She said he was from a different generation, that he showed affection through teasing, that he did not always understand how his words affected people. I appreciated the effort, I really did. But it did not change anything. I wrote back and told her I held no ill will toward her, that I hoped she and her husband found the help they needed, but that I would not be that help. I wished her well and left it at that. What surprised me most during all of this was how much support I got from unexpected places. Friends I had not spoken to in years reached out after hearing bits and pieces of what happened. Some of them shared their own stories, times they had been taken for granted, times they had finally stood up for themselves. It felt good to know I was not alone in this, that other people understood. My friend, the one from the lunch photo, checked in regularly. We grabbed coffee a few times, nothing romantic, just two people talking. She told me she admired what I was doing, that it took guts to walk away from something comfortable even when it was toxic. I told her it did not feel like guts. It felt like survival. One night, she asked me if I regretted it. Any of it. The 5 years of helping, the marriage, the decision to walk away. I thought about it. Honestly thought about it. And I told her no. I did not regret helping, because that was who I was. I did not regret the marriage, because I loved my wife once, and that was real. But I also did not regret walking away, because staying would have killed something in me that I was not willing to lose. She nodded like she understood. Maybe she did. My wife and I met for coffee last week. First time we had seen each other face to face in over a month. She looked tired, smaller somehow, like the weight of everything had finally caught up with her. She told me she had been thinking a lot, that she understood now why I was so angry, why I felt so disrespected. She said she wished she had defended me more, that she wished she had seen what was happening before it got to this point. I asked her why she did not, why she chose their comfort over mine every single time. She cried, said she did not know, that it was just easier to keep the peace, that her parents had always been critical and demanding, and she had spent her whole life trying to make them happy. She said she did not realize she had been doing the same thing to me. I told her that was the problem. She had been so focused on managing her parents' feelings that she never stopped to consider mine. And when I finally spoke up, when I finally set a boundary, she treated me like I was the one being unreasonable. She asked if there was any way to fix it, if there was anything she could do. I told her I did not think so, not because I did not care about her, but because I did not trust her anymore. I did not trust that she would choose me when it mattered. I did not trust that she would stand up for me instead of standing by while I was torn down. She asked if that meant I wanted a divorce. I told her I thought we both did, even if we had not said it out loud yet. She did not argue. She just nodded and wiped her eyes. We sat there for a while, not saying much. Eventually, she asked what I was going to do now. I told her I was going to keep building the life I wanted. I was going to spend time with people who valued me. I was going to stop giving everything to people who gave nothing back. She said that sounded like a good life. I told her it was. We left the coffee shop and went our separate ways. No big goodbye, no dramatic moment. Just two people who used to be married, walking in different directions. I filed for divorce last week. She signed the papers without a fight. We are keeping it simple, splitting things fairly, no lawyers unless we need them. It is sad, but it is not bitter. We are just two people who could not make it work. Her father never apologized. I never expected him to. Her mother sent me one last email saying she was sorry things ended this way, that she hoped I found happiness. I thanked her and meant it. I still think about those 5 years sometimes. All those Saturdays, all that work, all that effort to be accepted. But I do not regret walking away. Because the moment I stopped trying to prove my worth to people who would never see it, I started to remember what I was actually worth. I am not bitter. I am not angry. I am just free. And that is worth more than any approval I was never going to get anyway.